Good afternoon, Toastmaster John. Good to be here. Good to be back.
You are breaking the jinx.
It's a good thing.
Could anyone hear Madam Past President at that point? Her audio was not clear from my end. Hello? Okay, the Sergeant at Arms is still not around. Good afternoon, Mohammed Salim. Welcome.
Yeah, afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah, hold on.
Are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
Yeah, what you said?
Are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
A guest.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Is this the first time you're attending Toastmasters meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome. A delight to have you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We have Toastmaster Chika in the house, Toastmaster Ugona, who I presume can step in for Sergeant at Arms. And since our timer is here, we're good to go. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Ugona. You're serving as Sergeant at Arms today, correct?
Good afternoon, TM John. That should be Toastmaster Lee job.
I don't see him in the room. You think you can take his place? Because it's just 1 minute to the start of the meeting.
That's fine.
Thank you so much. We have our past president here. We cannot disappoint her.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
You can hear and see me clearly. Confirm that?
We can hear and see you clearly.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon once again and welcome. If you are a guest, you are just in time for an exciting experience. This is Seaside Toastmasters Club. Seaside Toastmasters is one of over 1,400 clubs scattered in over 300 countries around the world. We are part of Toastmasters International, and Toastmasters International was set up to do just two things: to train people in communication, that is in speaking, and in leadership. If you are a guest and this sounds like something you would like to get involved with, we encourage you to join Seaside Toastmasters. This is our third meeting in the month of November. Usually at Seaside, we have 2 meetings every month, the first and the second Saturday of the month. But for the months of October and November, we have 3 meetings because we will not be having meetings in December. That implies that this is our last meeting for the year 2024. Welcome once again to Seaside Toastmasters Club. Before we proceed, I would like to lay out the ground rules that will help us have an effective meeting during the course of today. The first rule is, whenever you are called upon to speak, you are encouraged as much as you can, whether it's the table topic section, the prepared speech, or any role player. You are encouraged to turn on your video because videos help the meeting become more interactive for all of us, and we tend to enjoy seeing your beautiful faces. The second one is, if you are not speaking and you are not absolutely sure and certain that where you are is totally quiet, please keep your microphone on mute. We will not want to have distractions, noise, background noises during the meeting. Please let us adhere to that. That said, it is my joy that will and my hope that we'll have a beautiful meeting. And finally, always look at the chat box. We are encouraged to use the chat box for this virtual meeting to interact as much as we can, to ask questions where we are confused, especially if you are a guest here. Please use the chat box. And during the course of the meeting, the attendance link will be shared on the chat box too. Please do well to fill that in. Thank you. Before we move on to the meeting, I want to call on all Toastmasters to join me as we take the Toastmasters promise to remind ourselves of the reason why we are here. Please, Mr. Zoom Master, let's have the Toastmasters promise on the screen. Thank you. Just for orderliness, I would like you to say it along with me where you are. While you remain on mute, I will be the only one saying it out loud. So let's go. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules of all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters meetings. And so we have promised. Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Seaside Toastmasters Club. To move this meeting forward, I will hand control over to our president. Now, our president is an experienced advertising and business strategist. He serves on the board of some technology-driven companies, and he is passionate about technology-driven solutions and community service. He joined Toastmasters to improve his public speaking and leadership abilities. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please use the virtual emoticons, the emojis, put in your chat box, whatever it is you can do. Please help me make welcome our president, the president of Seaside Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Ebube Modi. Over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ubona Anyanwu, for the warm introduction. Thank you for calling the meeting to order and setting the ground rule for today's meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone to Seaside Toastmasters Club. This is Seaside Toastmasters Club, just as the Sergeant at Arms has established. And the mission of every Toastmasters Club is to create a positive and supportive learning experience where members can develop their leadership and communication skills. And our theme for today's meeting is connecting beyond words. Words are powerful. A lot of people have authority on how to use words to engage with people and achieve different goals. However, through words or through actions, actions can also be more powerful than words, because some people are used to saying things without having the ability to fulfilling them. Some people also are good with giving promises, false promises, without having the ability to do them. But true words lies in the actions, our body language, how we show empathy to people when they are vulnerable, and a lot of unspoken words that we did not say. How well and how are people able to interpret those words that we did not say? So beyond just the words, the unspoken words can also be deemed as words. And at Toastmasters, we are here to develop both our spoken words and both our unspoken words. And I'd like to encourage everyone to please leave an open mind, try and go through the process, try and participate in the process so that we can learn together. And the inspirational quote for our meeting today is, the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. And this was said by Peter Drucker. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. In Toastmasters meeting, in every typical Toastmasters meeting, we have someone who anchors the session. And that person who anchors the session is called the TMOD, which is the Toastmaster of the day. And in a typical social gathering or social event, that person is called the Master of Ceremony, which is the MC. So but in Toastmasters, we call that person the TMOD for the meeting. And our TMOD for today's meeting is a seasoned Toastmaster who has been a member of Toastmasters International since 2012. He's married with 2 children, and he is the current president of Luminous Toastmasters Club. He is the past club growth director for Division F and a Triple Crown Award winner. He is a network marketer and an investor who loves to read, dance, draw, play volleyball, and meet people. With a virtual round of applause, I'd like to encourage you. Please join me as we welcome the TMOD for today's meeting to take over the virtual lectern. Toastmaster John Onumeya, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to Seaside Toastmasters Club. It is my delight to serve in the capacity of Toastmaster of the Day. I love the fact that the Sergeant at Arms already laid down some ground rules. I would just like to add 2 more. First, when we introduce people and they're coming up to our screens to speak, please can we use this reaction button to give them applause? Can we do that now, please? The reaction button to give them the applause. I want to see us doing that. Let me see more people doing that. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Second, when speakers are done with their speeches, we love to give them what we call love notes. We'll type in the chat box and let them know what we loved about their speeches. This is to reinforce this in their mind if they already knew, or let them know if they didn't know before, so they can get better and speak more. Our typical meeting has 3 segments, but today we actually have 4. Prepared speech, we have a unique training that's for about 10 minutes, table topics portion of the meeting, and the evaluation portion of the meeting. Table topics is where the members and guests, meaning you're not a member yet, you get the opportunity to speak, and I encourage you to please participate in that portion of the meeting. The person that leads the evaluation portion of the meeting is fondly known as the general evaluator. Our general evaluator for today's meeting is an entrepreneur, a firm believer in our shared human experience. He started Smile Nigeria Media Limited with the mission to inspire love and unity amongst humanity through creative productions. Beyond Smile Media, he finds joy in reading, immersing himself in nature, and staying active through running, as well as badminton. These pursuits fuel his creativity and dedication to spreading love and unity. His favorite quote is, "The reward for conformity is that everyone likes you but yourself," by Rita Mae Brown. Dear Toastmasters and guests, with a virtual round of applause, welcome to our screens the general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Usman Hammer. Toastmaster Usman, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I'll be serving as the general evaluator. And as the general evaluator, it is my responsibility to evaluate the meeting in general. I'll be evaluating everything that happens and does not happen. I will also evaluate the meeting organization, preparation of role players, delivery by speakers. I will not be playing this role alone. Together with me is a group of assistants called the tag team. They're called the tag team based on the roles they serve. The tag is an acronym for timer, accounter, grammarian. I will call on each of these role players to explain their role further. I will start with the timer. Our timer for today is Toastmaster Chika. Before I call on Toastmaster Chika, I will read her bio. Toastmaster Chika is a passionate social worker in Nigeria, partnering with various foundations. Her ultimate goal is to become the CEO of her own foundation. She enjoys hairdressing and dancing and is inspired by Mother Teresa's saying, "In the end, it is not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving." Toastmaster Chika, please put on your microphone and explain your role further. Thank you.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please confirm you can see me. Please confirm you can see and hear me, please.
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the general evaluator. So today I'll be playing the role of the timer, and my role simply involves to keep track of time of everyone who speaks today. The essence of keeping track of time is to help us keep to the allotted time. For today, I'm going to be displaying 3 different cards. The green, which shows that we still have more time to speak. The yellow card shows that we're at the middle of time, and the red card shows that it's time to round up whatever we're saying, although we still have like extra 30 seconds to wrap up whatever we're saying. So moving on, I'm going to be timing all segments, especially the speech evaluation, which is 5 to 7 minutes. For 5 minutes, you will see the green card. At 6 minutes, the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, the red card, which shows we still have extra 30 seconds to wrap up. For the table topics, which is 1 to 2 minutes, at 1 minute, you'll see the green card. 1 minute, 30 seconds, you see the yellow card. 2 minutes, the red card. We still have extra 30 seconds to round up. Then finally, the evaluation, which is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, you see the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, the red card. We still have 30 seconds to round up. So I encourage everyone who speaks throughout the meeting to please kindly keep to time. And when we're speaking, please, we're encouraged to pin the timer, which is me, so that we can also keep to the allotted time. Thank you. Back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chika, for that eloquent description of your role. The
Thank
next
you.
role player on the tag team is a software engineer. She has a strong passion for personal growth. Outside of coding, she enjoys good food and values making new connections and friendships that enrich her broad spectrum of interests. She joined Toastmasters to improve her leadership and communication skills. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Abibat to the virtual lecture.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As the art counselor for today, my role is to help us become aware of pause fillers that we may use when speaking. Pause fillers such as and other repeated phrases. These are often used maybe when we are unsure of what to say next or we are thinking. So it's recommended to pause at moments like that because pausing makes our speech more powerful. So I'll be taking notes. I'll be paying attention throughout this meeting, and at the end, I'll be back to give my report. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam R. Counter, for your eloquent description of the role. And finally, on the tag team is the grammarian. Our grammarian for this meeting is a health underwriter and actuarial analyst, passionate about universal health coverage. Is a Toastmasters Triple Crown Award winner. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Odus Adebayo to the virtual lecture.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. You know, there's a saying that says, when you are having an argument, once you see that you are losing, the best way of defense is for you to start correcting the other person's grammar. Once you do that, you are going to turn the tides around. So my role here is to ensure that we all win our arguments. Is to ensure that we use we make proper use of grammar. I'll be watching out for proper usage of grammar and also improper usage of grammar. I'll also be introducing the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is empathy. Empathy. And the meaning is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. The word forms are empathy, empathetic, empathetically. Word usage. Examples of the usage of the word. TM Chidalu's empathy allowed her to connect with the audience on a deeply personal level. An empathetic leader bridges gaps and builds trust, connecting beyond mere words. TM Lee job listening empathetically, making every speaker feel heard and valued. I'll watch out for those who will be using the word of the day. The president already used it once in a speech. I don't know, maybe he has gone to take a peek at it somewhere. But I will be watching out. And at the end of this meeting, I'll come back to give my report. Thank you, and over to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grammarian, for your eloquent description of the role. So this is the General Evaluator's role and the tag team's role. At the end of the meeting, we're going to be called back up to give our reports of the meeting. Thank you very much, and over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, our General Evaluator. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please can we give a virtual round of applause to the evaluation team. Let's use our virtual reaction buttons. Now we're moving right along to the prepared speech segment of the meeting, and we're having 3 speeches today, so let's go to the first. But before I introduce the first speaker, I would like to introduce her evaluator to tell us the objectives of her speech. The first evaluator for today is a graduate of Yaba College of Technology. He studied statistics and has over 10 years experience putting his critical and analytical thinking abilities to work. Has over 10 years experience in sales and a total of 5 years experience writing expertly. He's a keen thinker, talented writer, creative, and media enthusiast, among other things. To tell us the objectives of the first speech, please let's welcome to our screens none other than Toastmaster Bolahan Otunubi. Toastmaster Bolahan, over to you.
Thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the day, to everyone. And that's because where I am, it's not camera ready. But I hope my voice do it. Yeah, so I want to say this. I recently picked up a book and I read something from it that says, a good teacher is like a craftsman carving good statues from dead woods. Every teacher is once a student. So why did I say that? I said that to say that I was once in the shoes of TM Deborah when I was giving my icebreaker speech as well. And what is an icebreaker speech? An icebreaker speech is the first speech you give as a member of Toastmasters, where you introduce yourself to the rest of the team, so to say. And TM Deborah, coming from the presentation mastery, this is her first project in level 1, and she has done a good work at preparing for it. So I know today, sit back, everyone, get to know more about TM Deborah through her speech, and it's going to be a wonderful experience. Thank you very much. Over to you, the Toastmaster.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, to deliver her icebreaker speech, with the virtual round of applause, let's welcome to our screens none other than Toastmaster Deborah Hogan. Toastmaster Deborah, over to you.
Good day, Toastmasters and guests. Hello, everyone. Today, I am excited to share my journey with you all through my speech, which is titled Bridging Connections. As I stand here or sit here, basically virtually, I realize that every connection we make goes beyond our words, goes beyond what we say. It's about sharing experiences, sharing emotions, sharing what we feel, and sharing insights that bring us closer together and makes us to get to know each other better. Okay, first of all, to get started, let me tell you all a bit about myself. I have a passion for learning new things. I have a passion for exploring and getting to know people, and particularly when it comes to communication. This interest led me to join the Toastmasters Club, where I believe I am not the only one improving on my public speaking skills. And I also get to meet amazing Toastmasters, such as Toastmaster John, Toastmaster Kudus, and other amazing Toastmasters in the house today. This interest also led me to begin hosting, or should I use the word anchoring, events mostly in the city of Port Harcourt. I anchor tech events, and I've learned that in these events I anchor, it goes beyond what you say. It's about how you're able to make your audience feel, how you're able to take them from the beginning of the event to the end of the event. And it has made me to realize that connecting with people goes beyond words, which I said earlier. Now, one of my key interests is also in understanding that, like, the little differences that exist in each and every one of our lives, and how these differences can help us to build stronger connections and bonds with one another. In my journey so far, I've also learned that connection often starts with vulnerability. As the Toastmaster of the day, he said, connection goes beyond words, but it goes beyond how you're able to make people feel. So if you can be vulnerable enough to share your emotions, to share your feelings with someone, you've succeeded in connecting with the person beyond words, and you've given the person room to empathize with you in that process. So we can see that when we share our stories, we allow others to see us for who we truly are, which is a very good way to connect with people. I remember a time when I was hesitant to speak up in a group and I felt like my voice didn't matter. But very soon I realized that every voice has value. And when I realized this, I went on to join other groups, not just the Toastmaster group. I joined the book clubs. I joined so many tech communities because I noticed that my voice matters and I was going to speak up no matter what. And after I did this, by opening up and sharing my thoughts, I discovered that others were eager to connect and also share their different experiences, which made us to bond even better. Now, Toastmasters and guests. This taught me that connection is a two-way thing. It goes beyond just one person. It's the ability for two people to come together and make it work. And it begins with the willingness to be open and authentic. As I continue my path in Toastmasters Club, I aim to enhance my presentation mastery skills, not just to speak more effectively, but also to connect more deeply. I want to inspire others and create a space where everyone feels heard, everyone feels comfortable to share their stories. And I believe that through our words and actions, we can bridge gaps and foster understanding, even when we come from different backgrounds and upbringing. Now, Toastmasters and guests, in conclusion, I want to encourage each and every one of you to embrace the power of connection, whether through simple conversations, through getting to know each other, or through heartfelt stories. And remember that every interaction is an opportunity to build a bridge. Let us continue to support one another in our journeys and celebrate the connections we create along the way. Thank you very much, Toastmasters and guests, for listening to my story, and I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you beyond words.
Well done, Toastmaster Deborah. You definitely connected. You clearly have a great sense of empathy because you mentioned my name. It's like you knew I needed to be encouraged. Please, can we give her a virtual round of applause? If you're not going to applaud anyone else, you must applaud Toastmaster Deborah. Please, I want to see it. I will wait for this one. Let me see those applause, the virtual round of applause. Well done. It was an enthralling speech, eloquently delivered. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deborah. Moving right along to the second prepared speech. Our second prepared speaker is going to be evaluated by someone we've already met, so I'll just call him without another introduction. Toastmaster Usman, please can you tell us the objective of the second speaker's speech? Over to you, Toastmaster Usman.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Our second speaker is speaking from the pathway Persuasive Influence. This is the speaker's second project of level 4. This project is an elective. This project is one about leading your team. And the purpose of the project is for the member to lead a small team to the completion of the project. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of their experience leading a team. Emma, please take note that this speaker has 5 to 7 minutes. I'm very sure you're going to enjoy this speaker, as this speaker will be sharing an empathetic speech that will resonate with all of us. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Usman. Before I introduce the second speaker, I'm trying to search for her. I saw her earlier, and I cannot see her device name at the moment. I'll go ahead and introduce her, unless she changed her name. I actually can't see her in the room, but let me introduce her just in case she changed her name and wants to surprise us when she jumps out to speak. Our second speaker for today is a seasoned banker with over a decade experience in business development and relationship management of corporate clientele. She is an avid reader and the current Vice President Education at AWN Toastmasters Club. Her favorite quote is, "Everything good will come." She's delivering a speech from Pathway Persuasive Influence, Project 4, Project 2. Speech title, code R. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Yetunde Lawal. She changed that last name. Toastmaster Yetunde, over to you, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. My name is Yetunde Lawal. And please, for this speech, there's also a portion where I will need to be asked questions about the project and the difficulties I face. I'll ask that you please oblige. Now, about my speech, code R. I have a colleague who is also my boss. He's someone who does not like being celebrated on his birthdays. Actually, in the past 3 years, whenever it is his birthday, he finds a way to run away to some strange land, so no one finds him on his birthday, and so we cannot celebrate him. I remember in 2022, we actually had to go to his office and sing to a beer table just to show him how much we love him. But the thing about him is that he's a very amiable boss. He's also a mentor, he's a coach. And so on his birthday, we thought, what could we do to celebrate this worthy man? Hence, we came up with the project, Code R. Surprise Ralph on his birthday and make him feel loved. Now, for someone who did not like surprises, that was a difficult thing. And guess what? I was given the task and the project to organize a smashing surprise party for Ralph. What was the first thing I did? I thought, how do we organize a party for someone who doesn't want a party? And hence, I called the team together, made up of 3 colleagues, Olumide, V, and Kike. Their tasks were clearly stated. Olumide, get us a venue that works for this event. V, your job is to get Ralph to the venue on the day of the event. Kike, how do we raise the money? We don't have the money required in our purse. So get a budget and get us to raise the money. Hence, our planning commenced. As we started planning, Kike came up with the idea of tasking member of the team, some senior member of the teams, to supply the funds required for the project. We thought it was a good idea. So I asked her, how much will be the budget for this event? She said, I think 2 million naira will cover food, event planning, venue, etc. And so we agreed on a budget of 2 million as a team. And therefore, Kike did what was required to get the team members to contribute the money. While we were waiting for the contributions, we went on with the planning. Second was, Olumide, where is the venue? Where are we going to have this party? It has to be somewhere in VI. It has to be somewhere Ralph can attend quickly and run back to his meetings. And which day will this event hold? Olumide, who is known for being very, very good with planning parties, and a guy who is out there in town, came up with different locations and areas. Eventually, we settled on a spot in VI because it had karaoke and it had games nights. We had hoped that the event would double as a surprise birthday party for Ralph, and also a TGIF for us as a team. And then the most critical part of our plan, get Ralph to the venue. Who was going to bail these cats? It was a difficult thing, being that Ralph did not want to be at the party. He did not even know about the party. We had kept it from his PA and from everyone who we felt could notify him about the event. And then we started brainstorming on the ideas of how to get Ralph to the party. At last, an idea popped up from the team. Olumide said, the only thing that would grab Ralph to this party is if it has to do with business. So what did we do? We called on a mutual customer and said, you know what? Tell Ralph that that he should come and meet you at this event because he's about to sign a major check which is required for his targets. And that was our plan. And that was what we planned. And on the day of the event, the customer called Ralph. even though the customer himself was supposed to have attended the party, but unfortunately he had to travel that day. But he said, you know what, I will get Ralph to the party for you. So he called Ralph and said, Ralph, meet me at this event on this street, Kofa Bayomi in Victoria Line. And I was happy, saying, you know what, I'm coming to achieve a business goal. And so he started driving. Meanwhile, every member of the team had sat down and we were waiting. Excuse me. We were waiting patiently. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Ralph had not arrived. What was wrong? The customer called me and said, you know what? Ralph has called me. He says he has missed his way. He can't find his way. Where is he? What do we do? At this point, I said, no, it is a surprise. The beauty of this is that he arrives surprised. Eventually, after a long wait, Ralph arrived at the event. Luckily for us, the food and drinks had also arrived on time. And just as he stepped in, we all screamed, surprise! He was elated. He was surprised. He was amazed because he had never imagined that despite his objections, we would go out of our way to plan a surprise party for him. And Toastmasters and guests, that was how we executed Project Code R successfully. Until today, it remains one of his memorable moments, which he refers to. Thank you, Toastmasters and guests. The Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yetunde. It seemed rather dangerous. Shouldn't you have gotten his input to know it was something he was going to enjoy? Well done. We're moving right along to the next and final prepared speech before the training. Our final speaker is going to be evaluated, and I would like to introduce the evaluator to tell us the objectives of that speech. Our final evaluator is a member of Surulere Toastmasters Club. He is a teacher, integrative life coach, and author. He loves traveling, archaeology, photography, arts, and new tech. He's a level 10 Google local guide. His favorite quote is, "It's always impossible until it's done," by Nelson Mandela. Dear Toastmasters and guests, with a virtual round of applause, welcome to our screens Toastmaster Emmanuel Eme to give us the objectives of the final speech. Toastmaster Emmanuel Eme, over to you, please.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Please confirm that you can hear me.
We can hear you clearly and we can see you as well.
All right, thank you. So I'll be evaluating Modi today, and this is his fourth level 4 in Project 2, elective. And of course, he's going to be doing a podcast today. I'm going to be looking out for several things today, even as I evaluate him. I'm going to be, looking at the content. I'm going to looking at the clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, and so many things. So, Toastmaster Ebube, break a leg.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Emmanuel. Our final speaker for today has already been introduced. He's the president of this club. He's delivering a speech from the Pathway Presentation Mastery, Level 4, Project 2. The intro is supposed to be 2 to 3 minutes, and the podcast itself 5 to 10 minutes. Speech title, "Maybe You Should Talk to Someone." Dear Toastmasters and guests, with a virtual round of applause, welcome to our screens Toastmaster Ebube Modi. Toastmaster Ebube, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, for the warm introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good afternoon. Today, I'm going to be speaking on the topic, maybe you should talk to someone. And I'm going to begin by asking a question. Have you ever gotten to the point where a lot of things is going on around your life and you don't know who to trust to share your vulnerable stories? You don't know whether when you share this story with them, they are going to expose you to even your enemies. If you have had that experience, please can you use the comment section and say, yes, I've had that experience. And also, have you also gotten to the point where you have shared your vulnerable story about your struggle, your personal struggle, and before you could know it, everybody around you, including the enemy that you don't want to have access to that information, already knows about it? If you have, please use the comment section to say yes. All right, thank you. Thank you for the comment section. Now, this is an experience that a lot of us have had. Both those, and if you haven't had it, I'd like you to please watch this podcast, because it's going to be an exposition to people who have gone through this process and how well they were able to overcome it. So because of this, I have had these experiences, and I can tell you that some people do not have empathy. In some instances, when you give them confidential information, they begin to expose you. However, it is not the end of the world. Life still has to continue. But then when situations like that happen, you get to know who your friends are, and we also get to know who your enemies are. And because of that, we have traveled far and wide to Ivory Coast, to Calabar, to Port Harcourt, to touch base with seasoned speakers who have authority on this topic, so that they could share with us their experience on how they were able to manage vulnerable situations where information even got out of hand to the people that it were not supposed to get to. And I am going to be playing a clip of the podcast which we did. And at the end of the session, I would also come back to summarize the session. So I will quickly proceed now to play the clip of the podcast which I did. Welcome to Gist Media podcast show, a place where we talk about real life conversations on real issues that affect us as humans. Today, we are going to be speaking on the theme, maybe you should talk to someone. And we have created 4 different episodes, and we believe that each episode is going to meet you at the point of your need. I have come to understand that I like to mention that this podcast is made possible with technology-driven softwares. And I like to mention that for this podcast to be possible, I used Podcasto. Podcasto is a software used in creating podcasts. And I also use Microsoft Clipchamp. Microsoft Clipchamp is like a video editor where you can edit, you crop, you cut and join. Yeah. And I also use Zoom. At some point in the podcast, we had to interview some guests on Zoom. Then I use Audacity. Audacity is the software used to record your audio, to record your microphone, to record your voice, more like a voiceover app. And we also use Canva. Appreciate the guests that accepted to do this with me. Honestly, I gave them this notice on Thursday evening, and these guys were available on Friday. I like to appreciate them for getting to inconvenience themselves to make this podcast possible. So please, any of the faces you see on this podcast, please help me appreciate them. Help me tell them thank you, because at a very short notice, they came through for me to be able to do this project. Also, I'd like to mention that this is a Toastmasters International project. This project has been assigned to me to create a podcast, and I had to go through the process of getting to know the basics, the rudiments of how to create a podcast. And I can tell you, is a very fulfilling experience and a very fulfilling journey. Please join me and see the efforts which we have made in creating the podcast. Thank you so much and enjoy. What makes talking about personal struggle so impactful to mental and emotional health? What, in your opinion, do you think that makes talking about personal struggle so impactful for mental and emotional health?
Important for our mental health. So when you reached out to me concerning this podcast and I saw the topic, immediately it was something I could relate to because currently I had a discussion with someone that led to that discovery that I needed to talk to a counselor about that thing I was going through. And when she recommended I speak to a counselor, for me, I was like, counselor, it's not that deep. I don't need to talk to anybody about this. I think it's something I can figure out. But after thinking about it deeply, I decided to reach out to a counselor. And yesterday, coincidentally, was our first session. We talked for well over 1 hour, maybe almost 2 hours. And after our conversation, I realized that it was important that I spoke to him. So what were some discoveries I was able to get after our conversation? First, it became apparent that I had a lot of emotions that had been bottling down over the years. And because I was not addressing it, I really was not making a way forward with respect to that activity. So I think coming into that space where we can talk to someone about our problems, first gives us that breather. It gives us that freedom. It gives us that calm. Because sometimes we do not even know how well these things that we are bottling, how negative it can be, because we do not address them.
Toastmaster Adeniro Omita. Thank you so much. Because of time, we may just take just one episode. Now, we understand that a lot of us struggle to share our personal struggles with people. But at some point, we need to find somebody that we trust and somebody that we can confide in and then share with them our personal struggles. And the people who we share these personal struggles, they owe us an empathy. They owe us a duty to also keep our information confidential, to keep our personal struggles confidential. They owe us that duty. And also, they also need to also show us give us the necessary support that is required so that we can even have the ability to share more. So please, when next time you are going through personal struggles, I'll encourage you to kindly look out for somebody who has demonstrated that he has the ability to give you that support and also has the ability to maintain your information confidential. Thank you so much. And back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ebube. Dear Toastmasters and guests, if you're looking for someone to empathize with your personal struggles, who else do you turn other than to Toastmaster Ebube? He's so good, he already has his podcast. Come on. And most likely, he won't charge you much. Toastmaster Ebube, you can tell them privately the fee you're going to charge them. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please send love notes to all
Looks like the TMOD is frozen.
It looks like the TMOD just dropped off.
Yes, dear Toastmasters
Mr.
and
G.
guests.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my network is not as empathetic as Toastmaster Ebube's podcast that we've all been talking about in the chat box. It's okay. For all of us that want someone to empathize with us on a personal level, please go to Toastmaster Ebube. I'm sure he will not charge you much. He already has his podcast. Let us also endeavor to please send love notes to all the speakers that have spoken today. Now we're moving on to our training for today. And our trainer for today is a seasoned HR professional with a focus on people and talent development. She's also a home fragrance entrepreneur and the founder of Magnificent, a brand that offers space scenting solutions designed to elevate spaces and enhance well-being. It's Christmas time. Maybe you should patronize her for those bespoke gifts. She has served as a two-term vice president membership, and also she's one of the past presidents of Seaside Toastmasters Club. She is dedicated to empowering individuals, refine their communication skills, and speak with authenticity and impact. Today, she's doing a training from Better Speakers series titled Preparation and Practice. It's a 10 minutes training with a 5 minutes question and answer. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please welcome to our screens our trainer for today, Toastmaster Amarachi Olasende. Toastmaster Amarachi, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster John. Before I proceed, please confirm you can hear me clearly.
We can hear you clearly, we can see your screen, and we can also see your beautiful face. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Please unmute your mic and respond.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's good to be back again. I never left though, but it's good to be present at Seaside Toastmasters meeting once again. Thank you for having me facilitate this training. So I would move right into it. As Toastmaster John had mentioned, this is from the Better Speaker series by Toastmasters International, which typically gives members the opportunity to share areas we can improve our public speaking and communication in general. So for today's training, the focus will be on preparation and practice. And after listening to all the speeches today, I'm wondering if I should still go ahead with this training, because it's evident that everyone put in work in preparing and practicing for their prepared speeches. So well done to everyone that has spoken. So I will be sharing a few things, and I want this to also be engaging. So please, you can speak or you can raise up your hand if you have something to say, maybe afterwards, so we can deliberate as well. So preparation and practice. Before I delve into this, I have a question, and I want feedback, maybe from 2 or 3 people. And the question is on the next slide, which says, in public speaking, there are 3 ingredients to success. What are they? So I need someone or 3 different people to let me know what they think the most important ingredients are needed to succeed in public speaking. Anyone? Please go ahead, Toastmaster Emmanuel.
All right, in no particular order, I would say knowledge of your topic, desire to speak, and of course, the willing audience. Those are the 3 that I know.
Great, fantastic. Any other person, please? Toastmaster Chidalu. Please go ahead.
Hi, Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You can hear me and see me. Apologies.
We can hear you and see you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, to answer your question, part of ingredients for public speaking is your presentation, what you have to offer, your knowledge, and what you have to impact to your audience. So part of it that I feel or I know is your presentation. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. And the last person, Toastmaster Deborah, please go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to say confidence, but someone said it in the chat box, so I'll go with engagement. How were you able to engage your audience during the whole thing, and how clear your speech is?
Okay, thank you very much. That's awesome as well. I see the comments in the chat box. Someone says confidence and connecting with the audience and knowledge of your topic. And our president says, I think preparation and practice. You have stolen that from my slides, but it's okay. Anyway, if you ask me, I would say that indeed there are three most important ingredients needed to succeed in public speaking. And the very first one is definitely preparation. Okay? The second one is absolutely preparation. And the third one is undoubtedly preparation. And I have, I stumbled on a quote by Benjamin Franklin. An American polymath who says, okay, so that must mean that if you want to succeed, you have to prepare. If you want to be a great public speaker, regardless of the topic, regardless of how engaging your speech is, you have to prepare beforehand for it to be a success, right? So I feel like beyond everything else, preparation is key. And I could not even put anything else, at par with preparation, because I think that's the most important thing if you want to succeed at giving a speech. So I would move on to say preparation. When I say preparation, by the way, I mean, I'm speaking to preparation and practice, because I feel like they have to work together. They have to work in harmony, right? You cannot effectively say you have prepared without practicing. At the same time, you cannot say you practice without preparing, okay? So they work together, they work hand in hand. Preparation sort of gives you the structure, gives you the materials, gives you the foundation, right, needed to deliver effectively, okay? With practice, it helps you particularly in your delivery. So everything you've prepared, how you deliver it then matters. So preparation and practice, they work hand in hand. The goal really is for us as Toastmasters, or for us as public speakers or communicators or public speaking enthusiasts, is really to move from the point where you're just reading a speech to commanding the stage with the things that you say, with how engaging your speech is. That is really the goal for us at Toastmasters. So preparation and practice, they are pretty much the same. They have to work together for you to succeed as a public speaker. So I'll move on to the next slide, which talks about why preparation and practice matters, why it is important for us as Toastmasters or as public speakers to prepare and to practice. And I'll use an example, with our Toastmasters meeting. At every Toastmasters meeting, we have 2 or 3 different segments. We have the prepared speeches segment, and you have the table topics, right? The impromptu speaking segment. A lot of people, we find, are more comfortable giving prepared speeches. When it's time for table topics, you find people running away from that. Why? Because they do not know what you're going to ask them. They do not know if they are prepared enough, if they can speak to the topic that you would ask. And so they're running away from it. Okay, so there's something about, there's something that preparation and practicing does to you in terms of building your confidence, in terms of enhancing your performance, in terms of revealing those gaps or blind spots, ahead of time, and also polishing how well you deliver your speech. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are some of the things that we need to consider when preparing for a speech or some of the things where you need to consider when preparing to give a presentation. First of all, know your content. You have to be familiar with the topic you're speaking about so that it's easier for you to deliver it. Okay, so know your content, do your research and all of that. Set clear objectives, clarify your message. What is the core of the message you're trying to pass across? Okay, once you have that, you can then divide it or segment it into the introduction, the body, and then the conclusion of your message. It helps you deliver effectively. Understand your audience, very important. Who am I speaking to? Are they beginners? Are they experts? Are they Gen Zs? Are they millennials? Are they baby boomers? There's a way to speak to people of different, demographics. So understand your audience so that it's easier for you to communicate in a way that they would understand. If I were to be speaking to, for instance, children, I would not be conversing like this. It would have to be way more engaging. Ask them questions, involve them so they're not distracted easily. And last but not the least, create comfort and security. I think this is something a lot of people do not take note of. It is important that when you're preparing, you think about the whole setting. Think about the microphone, the hall conditions, the visual aids. What happens if my PowerPoint, disappoints me? How is the whole set? Is it a U-shaped? Is it circular? Is there a microphone? What is the guest size? Is it 100 people? Do I need to increase my voice? Do I need to? All of those things, when you're preparing, you have to take note of that. And then I'll quickly move on to the practice techniques. When we're practicing, practice the ideas and not the words. So do not cram your speech. Practice the idea and not the words. The second thing is to rehearse out loud. So do not rehearse in your mind. A lot of people do that. Say the words, rehearse out loud, and complete your rehearsals. Okay, and then simulate real conditions. Okay, so how am I going to be pacing? How am I going to hold the microphone? Is it a wireless mic, or am I going to hold this? Actually practice. Get something that looks like a mic and practice. Okay, and then record your speech, record your presentation to see how well you've done, and then if there are gaps, you can make adjustments, and then arrange for feedback. Okay, so get feedback from people, your friends or your family around. And then as I prepare to wrap up, I would like to say that preparation practice would make you proficient at whatever it is you decide to do, be it public speaking or whatever else. But preparation plus practice will make you proficient at everything that you do. Because behind every brilliant performance, there were countless hours of practice and preparation. And in conclusion, I'd like to highlight this quote by Dale Carnegie, which says that there are always 3 speeches for everyone that you actually give. The one you practiced, the one you gave, and the one that you wish you gave. So even when you practice, you prepare, you would most likely still have these 3 speeches for every speech you actually give. But that is not as a form of regret. Indeed, it's a reminder to let you know that with each speech you actually give, there will be more room for improvement, right? So you're going to still wish that, oh, I did it this way, I did it that way. That is just a reminder that with each speech that you give, there's room for growth, there's room for improvement. Nobody gives a speech, and if you're giving a speech rather, and you are unable to evaluate yourself and how well you did, or you feel like it's 100%, trust me, it's not. You need to ask for feedback, maybe from other people, to know the areas that you need to improve. So there's no perfect speech, but trust me, with each speech you give, you become better, you become proficient. So in conclusion, this is just to encourage us to give your speech. Toastmasters offers you a training platform, a platform for you to practice and get feedback. So why not utilize it? Why not use that opportunity to be better at giving speeches? So I encourage everyone, even as we move into the table topic section, volunteer to speak, volunteer to get feedback, and I'm sure we will do better and improve as speakers. So thank you very much. I will take questions and answers if there are any at this point.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amarachi. Timer, please, 5 minutes on the clock for questions and answers. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please do you mind stop sharing your screen? Thank you so much. Dear Toastmasters and guests, it's not every day that you're going to have the opportunity to have the CEO of Magnificence in the room answering your questions for free. If you want to know how she infuses such delectable aromas into her speech, ask questions now. Most likely, we may only be able to take maybe 2 questions, at the most 3, but most likely 2 or 1. You can raise your hands if you have any questions or type in the chat box as well. Our timer is diligent. The time is already going. You have to act fast. Any questions? Yes, Toastmaster Deborah, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so thank you, TM. Kudos. So my question is, how do you make your speech last longer? Because sometimes you prepare for your speech and it's supposed to last for a certain number of time, but when it's time to like actually say it out loud, then you now be like, wait, is this it? I don't know if it's because I feel like I don't talk fast. I don't. So how do you make your speech last longer? That's a question.
Thank you very much for that question. And I think we've all, been there or had that question at some point in time. So for me, what works for me is use stories. Use stories and pace your words. So you do not have to rush your presentation. Use pauses, tell stories, and then draw lessons that drive home your points. By the time you're telling a story, you have to, it's more engaging, and then you're pacing yourself, you're acting it out, you're putting a lot of vocal variety. People are engrossed in that already. Time is going. You're using that to save time. You're adding, more jara. You're adding all of that, right? Time is going, but you're driving home your message. Incorporate pauses. Use stories, infuse quotes into your presentation and things like that. So using stories and, pacing your message would help you, stick to the time allotted and not, spend a shorter time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amarachi. We have time for one quick question with a quick response. Anyone that can quickly raise their hands or quickly type in the chat box, we can answer that. Otherwise, we'll move forward to the table topics portion of the meeting. And if you're thinking Toastmaster Amarachi cannot empathize with where you are, trust me, she can. She did not start where she is right now. If you want to connect with her afterwards, please do let her tell you her story. I don't see any hands up and I don't see any chats in the chat box. Thank you so much, our past president, Toastmaster Amarachi. Please, if you want to give us samples for Christmas, we don't mind accepting some of your magnificence. Please go ahead. I can be one of your scapegoats to practice with it in my home. Please, can I give my virtual round of applause? Thank you so much. We thoroughly enjoyed that. Now we're moving right along to table topics. Our table topics master has previously been introduced, so let's welcome him to take charge of our screen. Dear Toastmasters and guests, let's welcome none other than Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo. Toastmaster Kudus, over to you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the day. I'm sure that we've had a very nice time. We've had very good prepared speeches. We've had a training from the past president. And now this is table topics, where many will call the best part of the meeting. Please, this segment is for you to practice how to speak off the cuff, where you're not prepared, unlike the prepared speeches where they have worked overnight to come and give us scintillating speeches. Yeah, you don't have that luxury. But don't worry, they are very simple questions. You are supposed to speak within 1 to 2 minutes. So please And the way it's going to go is that we have 5 different animals here: a wolf, dog, peacock, honeybee, and elephant. You're expected to pick one of these animals, and you have your question. So I would like to take a Toastmaster to go first. Do we have any volunteer? I can see Toastmaster Chibu. Oh, Toastmaster Miriam is here. Okay, Toastmaster Miriam, please go.
Good afternoon. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, perfect. I can hear you.
Okay. So I would go with, let me see, honeybee.
Honeybee. That's
Yeah.
my favorite too. So that's a perfect choice. So let's go, honeybee.
Yeah.
Okay, your question. Bees work together seamlessly to achieve a common goal. What lessons can we learn from bees about teamwork and connecting to a shared purpose?
Okay. So the question is, thank you very much to Table Topics Master. So the question is, what are the lessons we can learn from bees, honeybees to be specific? I would like to say that the first thing is teamwork and collaboration. There is no, if you look closely at bees, you see that they work together as a cohesive unit and each performing specific roles. So we have the workers, we have the drones, and we have the queen to support the hives. So that's lesson number 1. And that is that teamwork brings about success. And you can only do this by cooperating with one another on a team. So the second thing I would say is efficient division of labor. So you would see that bees divide tasks effectively, from gathering their nectar to guarding the hives and caring for their youngs. So another thing is adaptability. Bees adapt to changing environment. That's they shift their behaviors to gather food to protect the hive or survive winter. So I have a personal story. I can remember when I was, I think, 6 or 7. So I live in a house where we have trees, fruits in the house. So there was one day I was going to pick a fruit and I got stung by a bee. So which is the reason why when I was told to pick a question today, I was like, let me pick a question relating to what has happened to me in real life. So there are so many things we can learn from bees, and I hope that in our daily life, we can do that. So thank you for listening. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mariam. Okay, I will just go back to sharing my screen. All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Mariam. So do we have a guest who want to volunteer? I can see Toastmaster Deborah, but let's just see if a guest would like to volunteer. Okay. I think I see Mohammed. You want to go?
Daniel Ojo has his hands up.
Okay.
Okay.
Daniel, if you please go on. Which of these animals will you like to choose? You can pick anyone except the honeybee, the wolf, dog, peacock, and elephant. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, good afternoon. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master, for giving me the opportunity. I'd like to talk about the animal peacock. I mean, I've seen many animals in my life, but I've not seen an animal as beautiful as the peacock. Anytime I see a peacock, it gives me the vibe that, oh, what a wonderful creation of God. I remember my first encounter with a peacock at the University of Zoo.
Hello. I think you're already talking about the animal, but there's a question that is attached to it. So I think you should take the question. So you look at it. Peacocks use a vibrant feathers to attract attention and communicate. So the question is, how can people use visual expressions like fashion or art to build connections without speaking?
Okay,
Over
thank
to
you
you.
very much. Thank you very much for that question on how people can build visual expressions like fashion and art without speaking. First thing is your outfit, your fashion sense. When people see you, they will be able to, know what you're thinking, what you're saying based on how you dress. So your sense of fashion, your outfit is enough to start a conversation with somebody, or it's enough to give an impression to somebody about who you are, what you stand for, what you're empathetic about, and what you do for a living. And also, art is a beautiful communicator in the sense that some artworks being displayed in your home, your office, is enough expression of sending messages to people on what you stand for, what you believe, what you love, and what you like to do. I personally have some artworks in my office space that anytime people come in, visitors, clients, they always ask me questions about this artwork to say, oh, what inspired this particular artwork? And it just builds connection with people, especially people who love this particular work of art and are also willing, sometimes they actually refer them to also purchase this kind of art from my vendor as well. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much. Soon to be Toastmaster Daniel. You will see that he's so much empathetic about art, and that is why he went straight for a peacock. The Toastmaster of the day already told me that I have time for just two, but I can see different hands. So I'm
My
very
apologies.
sorry.
We don't have time for more. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you. Please keep sharing your story. Every story shared strengthens our bonds. Let's keep sharing our story to inspire one another. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry, everyone, who could not take the other animals. But if you want to know the question, you can come and meet me and tell me on phone. Thank you, and over to you, the Toastmaster of today.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, can we give the Table Topics Masters and the two Table Topic speakers a virtual round of applause? You can also send love notes in the chat box, what you loved about them. Dear Toastmasters and guests, just because I stopped the Table Topics portion of the meeting does not mean you should not listen to me. Please empathize with me. Can we give a virtual round of applause? Please, let's see it. It was even Toastmaster Deborah. Toastmaster Deborah, thank you so much. I don't know how that felt if we're not in this meeting. The rest of us, now you're uplifting my spirits. Thank you so much. Dear Toastmasters and guests, one of the things we love to do is vote for who we feel in this situation is the better speaker. We didn't do that for prepared speeches because they were different, icebreaker, and a more advanced speech and a unique podcast speech. We didn't vote there. But for the Table Topics speech, we are going to vote for who we feel is the better speaker. Now, a reminder, the first speaker was Toastmaster Mariam, who chose the honeybee. She was bitten when she was young. Since the bee stung her, she wanted to sting back by giving an eloquent speech. And the second speaker is our guest, Daniel Ojo, who spoke about the peacock. Please, let's vote. Zoom Master, are we going to have a poll come up, or do we need them sending a private chat? The poll is up. Please vote for who you felt was your better speaker. Toastmaster Mariam Oke or our guest, soon to be Toastmaster Daniel Ojo. It just takes a click of a button, but a moment for us to vote. And with that being concluded, it's now time to go to the last portion of today's meeting. Our last portion of the meeting is the evaluation portion of the meeting, and it is my pleasure to welcome back to take control none other than the general evaluator. Dear Toastmasters and guests, with a virtual round of applause, note my pause to see the virtual round of applause. Toastmaster Deborah, whatever they're paying you is not enough. The rest of us, we need to take salary from them and give it to your own salary. Add it there. Thank you so much. Welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster Usman Hammer. Toastmaster Usman, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Wow, what a great meeting we've been having so far. I am loving it. And as promised, this is the evaluation segment, back to report on everything that has gone on in the meeting. But we're going to start with the evaluation of the prepared speeches. I'm now going to introduce the evaluator of the first speaker. Our evaluator of the first speaker for today is Toastmaster Bolahan. Please come and give us the evaluation of Toastmaster Deborah. Thank you. Toastmaster Bolahan online.
I'm not sure he's here.
Yeah,
I
it
think
may
we
be
should
that
try here.
maybe that he's having some
I think we
network.
can. I think we can move on. If his network permits and he joins later, he can do his evaluation
Yes.
later. Otherwise, I will step in for that.
Okay. So for the second speaker, who was Toastmaster Yetunde, I evaluated her. I was wearing the cap of the speech evaluator. So I'm going to give her evaluation now. What a great speech that was, Toastmaster Yetunde. We can all agree that it was an empathetic speech because we connected with that story. Everybody has had that experience of celebrating a loved one. The speech content was engaging, and she delivered an exemplary speech about her personal experience leading a team, which was what the project was about. Toastmaster Yetunde, I must commend your use of gestures. Throughout the meeting, your hands were busy. One moment that stuck with me was when you were waiting for Ralph and you used your hand, your gestures to effectively express the situation. You said 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. What was wrong? That was a really good use of gestures and really commendable. Of course, no Toastmasters meeting is without a recommendation. So my recommendation to make your subsequent speeches better is to engage the audience with your eye contact. Even though this was a virtual presentation, you can still use your eye contacts to have an effect on the audience. And the way to achieve this is by looking at the camera instead of looking at yourself or looking at your video when you speak. Finally, I must commend your vocal variety. You effectively used tone and volume as tools to enhance your speech. A good example of this was when Ralph missed his way. You increased your speed and tone and pitch. And you said, "Where is he? What are we to do?" So that was really commendable use of vocal variety. The speech was a really great one, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm sure every one of us here enjoyed it. Toastmaster Yetunde, congratulations, you've achieved the objectives of your project. Now this is the end of the evaluation, and I will hand over to the general evaluator. So I'm going to keep the speech evaluator hat and wear the general evaluator hat. So as the general evaluator, I'll be calling on the final evaluator for today's speeches. The final evaluator is Toastmaster Emmanuel Eme. Toastmaster Emmanuel, the virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Please confirm that you can hear me very well.
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
All right. It is a very popular speaker that writes, and I quote, podcasting is a powerful medium that allows you to share your voice and your message with the world in a very unique way and a very authentic way. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Modi. It was a pleasure listening to your podcast. To start with, I loved and enjoyed your presentation, starting with the topic that you chose. Maybe you should talk to someone. There is no doubt that anyone who hears that line will not hesitate to just want to listen. So thank you very much. Your pre-podcast introduction started with an opener that grabbed my attention, and indeed the attention of many people who heard you. Well done on the use of question as an opener. Beyond your use of question, I also observed that your podcast was very smooth as you included the use of a voice modulator that made your voice sound so professional, reminiscent of one of an online presenter. You see, Johnny Depp, in his very famous quote, said, music touches our internal emotions where words cannot reach. And your use of that background music serenaded your audience. It made me want to listen to what you are about to say. And that's the use of background music. I also observe your use of an audio enhancer in what we are doing. And of course, your gratitude to the producers of those tech that you use. It's always very good to show appreciation. Appreciation, they say, opens up doors for much more blessings. So you acknowledge not just the tech providers, you also acknowledge your guests. Even though we saw just one guest, but I'm very sure that listening to the rest of your podcast will truly and really, meet the objective of today. I would like to say one or two things just to encourage you. Maybe next time you may want to use double screen to display both yourself and, of course, the person that you are interviewing. In that case, it's going to make it more interactive. And maybe you might also want to use that audio enhancer that you use in your first introduction across the rest of your podcast. Finally, I want to encourage you to add some panache, to add some energy in introducing your podcast. The introduction was well, but I want you to imagine if you have started with the energy that goes like this. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, all Toastmasters all over the world. My name is Toastmaster Modi, and today I'm about to take you on a wide stretch of adventure that will bring to you contestants, not just contestants, but also participants in my podcast, all the way from Lagos down to Port Harcourt, from Port Harcourt to Kaduna, from Kaduna to the South. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my podcast, and welcome to my world. Something on that nature. I believe that you started well, and I really look forward to listening to the entire podcast that you have made. On this, I'd like to say, yes, you have achieved the objective of your speech, and I look forward to hearing from you again. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Emmanuel. And I would like to know if Toastmaster Bolahan is back in the room.
He is not, apparently, but he has sent a private evaluation to the speaker. So I think we can skip that.
Okay. Right. So moving on, we're going to move on to the table topics evaluation, which was still Toastmaster Bolahan. So,
Mr. General Evaluator, I will step in. Yes, it was supposed to be Toastmaster
right.
Bolahan as well. May I proceed?
Yes, the virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you so much. First, let me apologize to the speakers. The network is not permitting the actual evaluator to be here, which means my own evaluation will not be as detailed since I was not preparing to actually do the evaluations. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please can we give a virtual round of applause to the speakers for the table topics portion of the meeting. I'll start with the first speaker, Toastmaster Mariam Oke. You focused on the honeybee, your topic. What lessons can we learn from the bees about teamwork and connecting through shared purpose? First, I love the fact that you volunteered. It shows that you exude confidence. And clearly, from being stung as a young child, you could show some empathy towards the bee. And maybe that's what propelled you, as you stated, to pick that topic. You dove straight into explaining what the benefits of working as a team is from the perspective of the bee. In fact, I was wondering, did she actually get the topic in advance? Well done, Toastmaster Mariam. A few areas that I felt you could have improved upon. By the point you started telling your story, I was looking, I said, you don't have that much time. And you didn't actually build on the story. It was just, you shared a bit and concluded your speech. I would have loved maybe you expanded on it and used that story to tell us the many benefits that you enumerated. And finally, I would have loved that you had a clear, concise conclusion. 3 parts of a speech everyone remembers: introduction, emotional high points, and conclusion. That being said, you were very clear in your structure and you were very detailed in giving us benefits, which is something I've learned. I want to learn to work with others, just like the honeybee, so we can actually make progress. Please, can we give Toastmaster Mariam a virtual round of applause? Well done. Moving right along to our guest who had 1% on his phone at some point. Hopefully he's still here, Daniel Ojo. His topic, Peacock. How can people use visual expressions like fashion or art to build connections without speaking? Daniel did not even wait for the topic. He just started speaking about the peacock after he chose the peacock. I love your confidence in speaking, your confidence in volunteering, and your passion for art and beauty. You actually explained and expanded on the topic. Well done. What would I have loved that you improved upon? It appeared to me that you're an artist. I would have loved that you picked one of those arts that you have and used that to answer your question, because you seem to really connect with it. If we were able to do that, we'll be able to connect more and empathize more with that story. Stories connect. We remember stories. We are transformed by stories. To finalize, what else did I love? I love the way you spoke with confidence throughout your entire speech. Your voice was very clear and you actually kept to the allotted time of 1 to 2 minutes. Well done. Thank you for the opportunity to evaluate your speech. Over to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, our table topics evaluator. And now we're moving on to the report by the tag team. Remember my tag team, the timer, the R counter, the grammarian. We've been busy taking note of everything that has been going on in the meeting. The first role player I'll be calling on is the timer. If you remember, our timer is Toastmaster Chika. Give us her report, how we fared with the timing this afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Please confirm you can hear and see me.
Yes, we can hear and see you.
Thank you very much. So I'm back to give my report based on how well we used our time. Although we used our time fairly today. A round of applause for ourselves. Please, can we all unmute and give ourselves a round of applause? Thank you very much. So I'll just be diving in on how well we spent our time. Generally, overall of the other segments, aside the speeches evaluation, we all made use of our time effectively. So moving on to the speeches, which is 5 to 7 minutes. TM Deborah, the first speaker, she used 4 minutes, 32 seconds. So she's within the allotted time. The next speaker, TM Yetunde, she used 6 minutes, 47 seconds, which is still within time. And the last speaker, TM Ebube, his time is 5 to 10 minutes. He used 9 minutes, 33 seconds, still within time. For the evaluation segment, which is 2 to 3 minutes, the first person, TM Usman, made use of 2 minutes, 49 seconds within time. TM Emmanuel, 3 minutes, 27 seconds, which is still within time. Then the last speaker representing TM Bola, which is TM John, he made use of 3 minutes, 1 second, and is still within time. For the table topic, we had 2 speakers, which is TM Marian and Daniel. For TM Miriam, she used 1 minute 52 seconds within the allotted time, and Daniel used 1 minute 50 seconds within the allotted time. Then over to the training segment. The trainer TM Amarachi, she was not within time. She made use of 12 minutes 48 seconds, but for the questioning time, we were within the allotted time, which is 4 minutes 32 seconds. Thank you. That's my report for today's meeting. I encourage everyone to make use of their time effectively. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chika, for that detailed report of how we did with our timing today. Moving on to the next role player is the R counter. And the R counter is played by Toastmaster Abibat. Toastmaster Abibat, the virtual lectern is yours. Toastmaster Abibat is in the room. I can see her name.
Please, we can just call the next role player while she returns.
Right, she may have stepped away. So moving on, I'll be calling on the grammarian, who is played by Toastmaster Kudus.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. We've had a good time, and not just with the timing, not just with the quality of our speeches, but also with the quality of our grammar. I had quite a number of times the general evaluator used eloquent, and at the point I thought that was the word of the day. I was just counting the number of times he used it before I came back to myself that no, the word of the day is not eloquent. The word of the day was used a number of times. Empathy. Some people used the other forms of it. Empathetic. Empathize was used most times. Toastmaster John used the word of the day 5 times. Toastmaster Deborah used it once when she was speaking. Toastmaster will be used it 3 times. The general evaluator used it 2 times. On the chat box, soon to be Toastmaster Daniel Joe used it twice. And I can see that your phone is now being empathetic enough not to go off. So that is my report. Thank you very much. Let's keep working on our grammars. Over to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster Kudus, our grammarian. Is our R counter back in the room, Toastmaster Abibat?
Yes, I'm back.
Right, please
Apologies,
give us
my
a
system got frozen when you called my name the other time. I had to change my phone. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Like I said, I'll be back to give my reports. And I must say, we all did well with use of pause fillers. Nobody used. Well, initially, we didn't really use pause filler. Initially, I was thinking, maybe when I'm giving my reports, I may not give any reports because nobody was using it. But then it was nice. I was able to catch some pause fillers. I think it was during our training. So TM Chidalu, she used M once. That was when she asked that question. Same with TM Deborah during her speech. She didn't use any pause filler. And when she asked that question, she used M once. And TM Amy used M twice. I think that's the report I have. But well done, everyone. We did well today. There was no much use of pause filler during the meeting. Thank you, General Evaluator. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam Accountant, for your report of this use of filler sounds. Now moving on to the General Evaluator's report. What a great meeting we've had so far. Everybody can agree with me that we had a great meeting and all the speeches were really empathetic. We connected with them. I must commend the organization of this meeting, the organization team. The role players were online already even before the meeting started. And I must also commend the fact that the meeting started on time. I must also commend how swiftly the SAA was replaced when it was realized that the original SAA isn't available. And the SAA that took over did a very good job of stepping in, setting the ground rules, and welcoming each and every one of us to the meeting. What recommendations do I have for such an effectively organized meeting? One recommendation is that we get our facts right. One of the role players said that there are more than 1,400 clubs in 300 countries. In fact, there are over 14,000 clubs in 500 countries of the world. That is one recommendation. Another recommendation is that, especially speakers, I can understand if role players do not stand, but especially speakers should stand when they're going to speak, because this will help them to present their speeches better. They're able to showcase their body language and they're able to move, because even though this is not a stage, where they set up their laptops, where they set up their cameras, that is their stage. And they can have that stage movement there. So speakers are encouraged to stand when they give their speeches. Finally, I would like to commend all role players, the Toastmaster of the day, the evaluators, the speakers, and the tag team for playing their roles to the best of their abilities. I will urge us all to keep it up, to keep practicing before we come on to play roles. I must commend the wonderful way in which all role players were introduced and the transition from one segment of the meeting to the other. That was really smoothly done. Thank you very much for the opportunity to serve as the general evaluator, and over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, please can we put our hands together virtually for the general evaluator and his team. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Usman, for gracing us with your presence and your competence in actually carrying out this role. For the sake of our guests, I would like to clarify. Our general evaluator mentioned that we have about 14,000 clubs, correct? But I think I heard 500 countries, which was probably an error, unless I just heard the wrong thing. He probably meant 150 countries, because in total, we have just about 190 something countries. So 500 countries is not possible. That was just an error. He means 150 countries, meaning most parts of the world that you travel to, once you say Toastmasters, you can have someone pick you up from the airport for free. By the way, this is a true story. There's someone I know, a friend here in Lagos. He travels a lot. He used to deal with sales. And most times when he's traveling, because you want to save money, you know how much it costs to get Uber. He will look for a Toastmasters club anywhere he's going to, and he will tell them he's coming into the country. Toastmasters, we love people, we empathize with people. They will ensure they get someone to go and pick him up from the airport and take him out, maybe drop him in his hotel or just to spend time with them. I'm not saying you should do this, but it's just a free tip out there. If you want to travel, think about it. It's been a delight playing the role of the Toastmaster of the day. I have thoroughly enjoyed this meeting. If you're thinking about improving your public speaking, your leadership, just improving your confidence, join us here at Seaside Toastmasters. I look forward to playing this role and other roles, and hopefully giving speeches as well. Everyone you've seen speak, play some type of role, is here to improve. Some you may feel they are really good, some you may feel they are not good enough. We are all here to improve. The biggest room is the room for growth, and there's more than enough room for you. It's now my pleasure to hand control back to the president of this prestigious club, Toastmaster Ebube Modi. Our screens are yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster John Onumeya. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who had made today's meeting a complete success. I also like to thank the general evaluator and the entire team the entire tag team for how well they have been able to deliver their role. Thank you for how well we're able to manage time in today's meeting. I think this is one of the first time where we have had a lot of speeches that have to that came with so much time duration, and we're able to cut down the time to this point. Well done, the Toastmaster of the day. You have masterfully displayed your experience in being an MC and the TMOD for today's meeting. And I'm not going to be the one that will make this meeting to close late. So I'd like to say thank you so much to everyone who had made today's meeting a success. Thank you also to the guests who were able to still stay up on the call up to this moment. We do appreciate you. And please still exercise some patience because we are going to be addressing you. The Vice President membership is going to give you some few tips on talks and also get your questions. I understand that perhaps maybe the way we have managed our meeting, you have a lot of questions and that you want to ask. Please just give us 5 or 10 minutes. The Vice President membership is going to answer every of those questions that you have in your mind. Once again, I'd like to say thank you. For today's meeting, we're unable to take votes for the prepared speech segment and the evaluation segment, but we're able to take votes for the table topic segment. And in Seaside Toastmasters Club, we try as much as possible to encourage people who are going through the journey of becoming better communicators and better leaders. And at that, we try to celebrate them. And for the table topic segment, we have a winner, somebody who you voted for and somebody who emerged as the most improved table topics participant. And the person is no other person than Toastmaster Miriam. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing her certificate. Please, with a virtual round of applause, please join me as we celebrate Toastmaster Miriam, okay, who is the table topics winner for our meeting today. Congratulations, Toastmaster Miriam, and well done to every of the table topic participants. So for Seaside Toastmasters Club, we're celebrating our 12th year being a charter club. A charter club means that we are officially in the Toastmasters International book as an official club of Toastmasters International. And we are 12 years old as a charter club. And for the past 12 years, we have had presidents who have gone through the club. And we have also had members who have gone through the process of becoming better communicators and better leaders. And from there, we've made progress, significant progress, and also we have made our own impact in individual people who have joined us. And this is the final meeting for Seaside Toastmasters Club for this year, 2024. And we're going to be having divisional activities from December. We have the beach hangout activity that is going to be happening on the 7th of December, which is on a Saturday. We're going to be sending out communications to you via email. We're also going to be sending out communications to you via WhatsApp or text message. And if you want to participate, so the beach hangout is a token of 15,000 Naira, and it's going to be happening in a beach. The venue is going to be disclosed upon registration. Now, it's a good opportunity for us to network. And it's also the expanded Toastmasters meeting, because it's not only Seaside Toastmasters Club that is going to be there. You're going to have different Toastmasters Club, including the ones that are in different areas. Now, Seaside is in a certain area. We also have 3 areas that are going to be coming for that particular event. You have the opportunity to network, to interact, and also make new connections. And the ESCOs have reached a resolution that our next meeting, or our meeting in January, is going to be on the 11th of January. We noticed that the first Saturday for January in 2025 is 4th of January 2025. So we don't want to burden so much of our members, because we understand that many of them are going to be traveling, to be coming back from different zones. So we have moved our meeting for January 2025 to 11. So our first meeting is going to be on the 11th of January 2025. And we look forward to seeing you. We understand that you're going to be having New Year goals. We're actually here to create a positive and supportive learning experience for you to achieve that your goal. Thank you so much for joining us in today's meeting. We do appreciate this opportunity you've given us with the wealth of your time, and we do not take it for granted. We continue to look forward to seeing you in our subsequent meetings. So by the powers vested on me as the president of Seaside Toastmasters Club, I therefore declare this meeting a close. Thank you so much. For our guests, please, you may wish to stay back since our vice president membership would like to say 1 or 2 words to you. Please just give us some time and the vice president membership is going to take your question. The Toastmaster Miriam, please can you still confirm you are still on the call?
Yeah, I'm still. Good afternoon once again. Yes, I'm still on the call.
Okay, please, over to you, Madam Vice President Membership.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you can see me. My video is not so good.
We can
So
see
yeah. I know we've spent so much time on this call today, so I want us to leave on time. So I'm going to be very, very brief. So the first thing I would like to talk about is, I know you've heard a lot about Toastmasters today, but I want to repeat them so that you understand anything you've missed when the president, the Toastmaster of the day, or every other person that has spoken today has spoken. So the first thing is that Toastmaster International is a non-profit educational organization. And the focus of this organization is to help individuals improve their communication, public speaking, and leadership skills. So Toastmaster was founded in 1924 by Ralph C. Smedley in Santa Ana, California. And so we have the organization operating clubs worldwide. Doesn't really matter wherever you are in the world, you would always almost find a Toastmaster club. And in these clubs, we help members, or Toastmaster help members practice and refine their skills in a supportive and structured environment. So I'm going to talk about 5 key features of Toastmasters today. Number 1 thing is the club structure. And this is that every club has a time they meet in a month. So that might be weekly and that might be bi-weekly. So for Seaside Toastmaster Club, the club you're currently in today, we meet twice every month. That's the first and the second Saturday of every month. This meeting today usually would not hold, but because we are trying not to have any meetings in December, hence the reason why we have 3 meetings in November and 3 meetings in the last month of October. So the second thing I will talk about is the educational programs. So if you're a member of Toastmaster Club, we have what we call pathways. And these are programs that offer customized learning tracks in area of public speaking, strategic leadership, and interpersonal communication. So the third thing is speech practice. So when you're a member of Toastmaster Club, you get to deliver, prepared and impromptu speeches and then you're going to receive constructive feedback to help you improve. And I'm sure you've seen that done over and over in today's meeting. So the fourth thing I will talk about is leadership development. So members can take on club officer roles like president, we have treasurer role, we have secretary roles, we have vice president membership role, and so on and so forth. So you can also go and have leadership opportunities in district, regional, or international levels. So the last thing I will talk about when it comes to the structure or the key features of Toastmaster is competitions. Toastmaster hosts contests. We have international speech contest, we have evaluation contest, and we have tall tales contest. And these are opportunities for members to compete locally and
internationally. So Toastmaster is open to everybody who is above the age of 18, and it doesn't matter where you come from, but as long as you're interested, you can join us. The mission of Toastmaster International Club is to empower people to develop confidence and skills that benefit them personally and professionally. So we have a couple of people that we have on this call. We like to call you our very, very important guests. Thank you for coming for the meeting today. So we're going to unmute our mic and we're going to hear from everybody that is a guest on this call today. So the first person I'm going to call is Ademola guest, Ademola, and we would like for us to do it in a particular structure, and that will be that you tell us your name, you would tell us what you do for a living, what you learned in today's meeting, and the fourth thing is, would you like to join us? So over to you, guest Ademola, we would like to hear from you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, someone.
Okay, please, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Ademola Jibwe. I'm a research and development specialist. I learned so much from the presentation, though it's actually not my first time, but I think this is the one of the one of the main meetings that I've had. What you actually do and some of your offerings. I would actually want to also develop my communication skills, especially, and also my writing capabilities. So I think I would like to be part of the club, one way or the other, going forward. Thank you very much, and have a blessed weekend.
Thank you very much. So what you can do for us is you can just send me a private message with your phone number and your email address so that we can communicate the information you need to join Seaside Toastmaster Club.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so the next person I'm going to call is guest Ben Chiedu.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, my name is Ben Chiedu. I sell real estate. I'm a real estate value as well. I'll say this is the first. I did not join this meeting very. I think I joined the last few minutes of I think it's the president's speech, the man who spoke before you. So I heard and I heard, what this has pretty much. This has helped me understand what, what Seaside Toastmasters is all about. I'll say probably maybe sometime last year. I'd never really gotten around to attending any of the meetings, but I have a sense of what, Seaside Toastmasters is all about. That aligns with my plans. So yeah, I want to continue to see this through and use this as a plan myself, personally, professionally. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So, what specifically do you want to know about Seaside Club? Because I said a lot about Toastmasters before I started calling people. So, I would need a more specific question.
I said I have a better understanding, having listened to the president
Oh,
and you.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much for that. So the next person I'm going to call is Daniel Ojo. We would love to hear from you. I hope your battery is charged now.
Okay, thank you for that. My name is Daniel Ojo. I work as a quality improvement and personnel in the healthcare space. I also work as a consultant. I help facilities get accreditation